Oh, hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Sunday, the 8th of March, International Women's Day. Hope you have given flowers, congratulated all the females in your life with some heartwarming words and some flowers and all that good stuff, of course. But today, it is Arsenal and nothing but Arsenal. And we have come to a point where season is not over. We are with Arsenal at the business end of the season where we are in all the competitions imaginable. Let's be real, we are in all the competitions imaginable, right? And at the same time, we are already talking about transfers, which I absolutely understand at the same time. Maybe this information should be put out after the season or towards the end part of the season where more or less everything is figured out. Not at the time when, well, everything is going down. Let's just put it that way. Not when everything is going down. But hey, it is what it is. I guess with Arsenal, you never can take it for granted. You'd always expect the unexpected, ironically enough. And we'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, we're going to talk about Arsenal's transfers because transfers are actually a big talking point already within the fan base, already in the social media, and already in the media in general. So we're going to discuss some stuff about that. Are the summer plans already in the place? Because looking at certain things, we potentially could be signing and not signing and selling and not selling. It's actually quite interesting, I'm not going to lie. And of course, the business end of the season. Huge pressure, huge responsibilities. Will Arsenal come on top at the end of the day? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, big up everyone. Like the stream, subscribe if you're new. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the live chat down below. Big up Marlon. I see you in the chat. Big up Coach. Big up Mubarak. Hope you're doing well. While if Arsenal put Kvaratskhelia plan into consideration, it will be the best plan ever. Yeah, but at the same time, it's way too late. Like for me, the nuts part is Kvaratskhelia last January, not this year, but last January, was available for literally 60 million. And right now, if Arsenal want to go for him, again, it's gonna cost them more than a pretty penny. I fully expect 100+ million. I fully expect that because the ship on that was there and it has sailed, and now to catch it, you need to pay the premium. You need to pay the premium no matter how you look at it. Let's be real. And here we go. Arsenal's already making summer transfer plans, obviously ahead of the summer, with new left winger priority ahead of 26-27 season. One player the Gunners are looking at is Kvaratskhelia. Obviously, who else? Because in general, the left wing market is very, very thin. Let's just put it that way. It is very, very thin. And somehow we are still looking for players we could have gotten before for cheaper, and right now we will get for the premium money. It's typical Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie, but I guess it is what it is. If Arsenal finish this season with silverware, obviously if we win Premier League, Champions League, stuff like that, Arsenal believe that they can convince the 25-year-old to move to North London, and then it will be a massive job, obviously, for none other than, of course, you guessed it, Andrea Berta, because without him, I don't think anything else is going to happen in this club, because we need him desperately to do his magic. No, there's no wonder he's one of the best in the business, and for him to do the job would require some proper job, proper focus and everything, proper considerations and stuff like that. We'll see where this is going to go, how it's gonna land. But ultimately, yeah, it will be very, very interesting and very, very cute to see. Personally, for me, I would love to see Kvaratskhelia at Arsenal. I'm going to say it as it is. I wanted to see him last January. I wanted to see him in the summer. I want to see him still at Arsenal. Just saying it out there, right? At the same time, just again, I'm not too sure we are at the best of times, because he will cost literally triple-digit money. It won't be about 60 million as PSG got him for. It will be what? I fully expect 90, 100, if not more. It's not going to be easy. Definitely not going to be easy, to say the least. So I guess it is what it is. But it doesn't stop there. It genuinely does not stop there, because Arsenal are exploring quite a few left-wing options. And according to some other reports, Arsenal are gearing up for major overhaul. Martinelli and Trossard both could be Saigons be bygones, goodbye, and they could be out. And it looks like Arsenal have opened talks for AC Milan's Rafael Leao as well as one of their primary left-wing options, with a 60 to 70 million package already discussed. Alvarez, on the other hand, yes, Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid is the number one striker target for Arsenal, and they are preparing 86 million bid, apparently, plus some swap to land the missing piece up front. Arsenal are exploring some younger options as well for the wing for right now, for the backup, for understudy, for the future, just in case as well. And that is the midfield, a young Lille midfielder, Ayoub Wadi, who actually is very good for Lille, I'm not going to lie. And there's also a concrete priority alongside possible right back cover and defensive depth. And this is where this becomes tricky, because there are lots, and I mean lots of talks that Arsenal are looking this summer to sell Martinelli, potentially Trossard, Ben White, Calafiori if push comes to shove, and Odegaard as well is on a very thin ground to a degree. So Arsenal are looking to cash in on all of them. Probably not going to cash in all of them, but most of them I would expect. And they are looking for replacements, and that is rightly so, fully rightly so. And looking at this, that Arsenal are looking at Kvaratskhelia, they are looking at Rafael Leao, Julian Alvarez for the striker options. That kind of begs the question, was it worth it really to sign then Gyökeres if you want to sign also Alvarez? Unless you have some different formation, different style, different system in place. I'm not too sure how that's going to work out at the end of the day. And because the wording for the Julian Alvarez part is very, 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 very insane. Let's just put it that way, because Arsenal are preparing an 86 million bid or player plus cash swap to land the missing piece. I thought Gyökeres was the missing piece. But at the end of the day, since Gyökeres, it looks like in Arteta's eyes specifically, is not the missing piece, it could be Julian Alvarez. The issue with this is, all of this, like literally, depends solely on what we do this season. Because if we win Premier League, Champions League, stuff like that, Arteta stays for one more year, right? We fully expect that. It is what it is. Then definitely we will go for some of these bigger names. Now, if Arteta doesn't win anything this season, right? Arteta most likely is gone. Let's be real. Arteta most likely is gone if he does not win anything this season. Which means we will have a new manager in place. Who? Go figure. Because the names, there are no talks about this, because nothing has been set into stone as of yet. Our season is going strong. We are still on for all the Top Gunner hype, quadruple, and all that crap. And until it all finishes, we will not know the final verdict on Arteta's future, on Arsenal's future, certain players' future at the club, and potential signings long term. Because if we actually win Premier League, Champions League, we should be able to get Leao, Kvaratskhelia, and players like that, especially looking at how PSG are struggling right now. If we don't win none of that, it's going to be a struggle. At the same time, with new manager coming in, with new ideas, fresh perspective, but new style, new system, new formation, and everything, there could be some wiggle room to get some of these guys over the line. Let's just say it as it is. There definitely could be some wiggle room to get them over the line. Same goes for Boadi, personally, right? Boadi is a very good player. Now, he plays midfield. The issue with that is we have Max Dauman, we have Ethan Manieri. They both are midfielders. We tend to put them out at wing and everything. So where does Boadi fit in all of this unless Odegaard actually goes? I have no idea, personally, at the moment, unless we play him 8, which I don't see happening as well, because doesn't strike me as an out-and-out 8 as well. Let's be real. Plus, we have Declan Rice there, and it's done. So that's not going to happen. Let's just put it that way. The Benjamin White situation, that definitely needs to be resolved, because he has turned into Tomiyasu. There's no argument about that. And we need definitely some proper replacements. And here we go. Here is another one, which, if we sign this guy, I will be over the moon, to say the least. Andrea Berta is pushing for Sandro Tonali to join Arsenal this summer. Tonali's agent, Giuseppe Rosso, was seen at the Arsenal versus Brighton Hove Albion match, which has increased the rumors about a possible move. Tonali has been an important player for Newcastle. known for his strength, ball carrying, and leadership in midfield. Reports say Newcastle could ask for more than 100 million euros, which is about 90 million pounds, 85 to 90 million pounds, if they decide to sell him. However, Berta's good connections in Italian football could help if Arsenal tried to make the deal happen. And even if we take the Italian connections out of the equation, if we talk about signings per se, right? Andrea Berta is one of the top dogs in the business. We should be able to do this anyways if we really want to. Now, with Andrea Berta having the Italian connection since he's Italian himself, world is his oyster in signing specific Italians. And of all the Italians that are out there, like literally, personally for me, I would take at Arsenal Barella, Bastoni, Tonali, maybe Di Marco if your push comes to shove, and that's about it. I'm not gonna lie, there are not that many Italian high-end players I would actually take, and not everyone would want to sell them. But Arsenal are in this situation right now where quite a lot also depends on how this season ends. Because for me personally, if we win the league, it gives us extra incentive to sign certain big players. If we don't win anything, it's gonna definitely put some spanner in the works. But that again could mean that Arteta goes, new manager, maybe some more players will want to join once we get a new manager in, and we could actually promise, guarantee certain instances, certain things for specific players. Who knows at the end of the day? Genuinely, who knows? But we'll see what is what. Calafiori in Trossard situation, we'll see. Both of them have to go personally in my eyes, but hey, I've been looking at solutions and cheap and useful alternative signings for now and summer. Cheap solutions. You realize you're talking about Arsenal, about title team who is challenging for titles. This cheap and internal solution crap alternative signings does not work here anymore. You either, if you want to get it over the line, you pay the big money, you get the top dogs, and you go, or you scrap it all up, start over, and you're screwed anyways. There are no cheap signings at this stage, because in this instance, we cannot afford to go for a player who can develop in about 4 or 5 years into something. We need right now some of the top dogs in business to get it over the line. There is none of that. Genuinely none of that. Is it possible for Arsenal to sign Kvaratskhelia and Alvarez? Yes, it is. At the end of the day, it is. Kvaratskhelia would be about 90 million. Alvarez would be about 90 million. That's 180 million, right? If Arsenal managed to sell Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard, if he wants to go, Calafiori as well, when White, those five together should cover about 120, 130 million of that alone. So Arsenal have the wiggle room in the FFP PSR crap. They have the wiggle room, definitely, without shadow of a doubt. So Arsenal can sign. They can. Will they? Is a completely different story. And again, all of these signings, well, not all, most of these signings, strictly and heavily depend on how this season is going to end. What Arsenal will win and how we're going to look. Because if Arsenal win nothing, some of these players won't even look at our offers. Let's be real. Some of these players won't even look at our offers. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Hello Ban. Big up, Hello Banking. Hope you're doing well today. Big up, Roy. If Arsenal draw Port Vale at home in the next round of the Cup, heads of our opponents will explode around the country. Oh, 100%. They will think that the draw is rigged. Without shadow of a doubt, they will think that it's rigged. Because Arsenal have easy, let's just put it that way to semifinals in the Cup, in the Champions League. Arsenal have had a very fortunate draws in FA Cup, in Carabao Cup, until even including semifinal. Let's be real. Until we play Man City. So definitely their heads will explode, and that is going to be insane. I'm not gonna lie, that definitely is going to be the same. Zubimendi to stay. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. Definitely not sure about that one, Chief. Because as a secondary option, yes. As the main guy, no. If we sign Tonali, I don't want to see Zubimendi touching the pitch almost at all. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Milan derby just started. AC Milan versus Inter Milan. Gonna be interesting how that pans out. Quite a lot of riding on that game as well, besides the pride and everything. Still 0-0, 22 minutes in. Same goes for Lyon game. Lyon are playing Paris FC, and it's still 0-0 there as well. So we'll see how that's going to go. I just put it that way. No matter who we buy, Arteta will ruin them. Imagine Leao is not going to track back. Leao definitely is not tracking back. He will he's gonna get so many injuries, it's gonna be worrisome, genuinely worrisome. Yeah, and to be honest, I am the same. I trust Andrea Berta, but I don't trust Arteta. In signing department, in getting the right players for the job and everything, 100% I trust Andrea Berta. Maybe 2% I trust Mikel Arteta. In that regard, without shadow of a doubt, it is like that. No matter how you look at it, no matter how it's looking, it definitely is like that, and there's nothing more we can do about it, unfortunately. Unless, obviously, if Arsenal season go down the drain from this point forward, Arteta most likely is gone. If he wins stuff, he most likely is going to stay. Then it's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal build up on the already, let's just say, title-winning team. It will be interesting to see how Arsenal build up to that. On it, to be honest. Big up Arsenal animal shorts. I have a bad feeling about Everton. If corner don't work, we're gonna beat Everton. We're gonna beat Everton. If I'm not mistaken, Everton haven't won at Emirates. Have won once or twice in 30 years at the Emirates. I think Arsenal are gonna do them. They gonna do them no matter how it's looking at. We need him on before this sign. Depends. So what happened to Gyökeres if we buy Alvarez? And that is one of my biggest points. Gyökeres was seen last summer as the missing piece because whole last year, even this year, all these Arsenal fans said, as soon as we get Gyökeres, we win the league. He's the last missing piece. We just need a proper striker. And it's evident that even with having a proper striker, we tend to struggle. It's very evident. Also, personally, he doesn't fit fully the profile of the way, of the style, of the system, how we want to play. However, that doesn't take away the fact the goals he has scored, what he has contributed to the team. Arteta has said himself that he does not want and does not like to have one out there gunman who scores 40-plus goals a season. He does not want that. He much rather spreads the goal around, spreads the wealth, shares the wealth, let's just put it that way, and basically keeps opponents also to a degree guessing from where the danger is going to come from, right? I know it looks like a struggle when we play during the season. It's a rough watch. At the same time, if you look at the goals, passes, and assists and everything, how it's spread out between our front line, more or less, it is spread very, very, very evenly. You don't have one out-and-out guy who does all the job for you. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Gavin. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you are doing well. Big up, Hendon. Big up, Hendon. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have had a great Sunday. Big up, Fusion is not jazz. Hope the day is treating you well. Hope this beautiful day is treating you well as well, my guy. Even if he wins, stiff it and sustainable. Well, yeah. Overall, you may think like that. It looks that way as well. Because the way we play, even if we win, obviously it's not pretty. But one of the biggest issues with this way we play is the fact that it takes so much out of the team, out of the players mentally and physically, that they gonna break. It's a very inevitable. We all have seen it and we are seeing it. That means you need proper backups, proper rotation. And unfortunately, under this manager, the rotation is one of the weakest parts of his game. One of the weakest parts of his abilities. Unfortunately, that's how Mikel Arteta is. And if you want to play this style, the way this system we are playing, which basically is, not only to a degree, it is repetitive, but it gets the job done most of the time, you need also depth. You need rotation. You need quality rotation. And I say this quite a while. I've been saying this for quite a while. There's a big difference between depth and quality depth. Because Arsenal definitely lack to a tiny bit a quality depth. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Jonathan. Big up, Jonathan, the Gunner TV. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon, my guy. Hope everything's fine with you this beautiful day. Go subscribe to Jonathan Gunner TV. People, go show him some love as well. And if while you're here as well, drop a like, subscribe to this channel too. If we want to increasing on goals, then Leao is not right player because he's deferred from. The thing is, like, Leao is very hot and cold. He's something like Trossard, right? If a Trossard is on it, he's very, very good. If he is just Stella R drunk Trossard, as which many times we have seen in last few games, especially, well, he stinks out the place, and he stinks out the place like the next guy, right? Same goes with Leao. Unfortunately, with Leao, yes, he has pace, he has some technical ability, he causes chaos. But again, Leao is one of those players, for me personally, who is very hot and cold. If he's on it, he's untouchable. Without shadow of a doubt, he's absolutely untouchable on the pitch. However, if he's stinking out the place, he's going to stink out the place, and you're going to be very frustrated with that. And that, unfortunately, it is the case with that. It's when we don't expect it with job points. Exactly. Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, it's one game at a time, no matter how you look at it. Looking at the schedule, I expect to win pretty much every single game we have in the league left, personally. Whether it's going to happen or not, that's a completely different story. I already have made amends with the fact that Arsenal are going to drop points. The issue with this is where? Because if we drop points to City, maybe to Newcastle, I can eat that. I have no problem with that. But if we play at home against Everton and we draw, if we play at home against like Burnley and we draw, then it's a completely different story and different situation. Let's just put it that way. Arsenal, like this title race, basically is going to be decided by the team who drops less points. Whether it's going to be City, whether it's going to be Arsenal. Time only will tell at the end of the day who is going to be more consistent and who is going to do a better job. Big up here. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well today. Sorry. Hope you are doing well. You want to see Leao in the lineup now? Why do I need to see Leao? I can watch him anytime I want. Like watching Leao, it's like genuinely watching Leao. It's like watching depending. You can watch him play a certain game where he basically just dances circles around anyone, and you can you can watch a game where he basically cannot even do a 2-foot pass, which is basically what Trossard does many times. So for me, Leao is more of a hit and miss. Although he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. But if Leao could get consistent, more consistent, not be like 50-50 or 60-40 hot and cold, right? If he could get more consistent and change to be like let's just say 75-25 or 80-20, he would be a level above most players at the moment, definitely. Let's just put it that way. Arsenal can drop points in any match possible. Yeah, but that's about any team. If we look at this from that point of view, anyone can drop points at any given time, right? Do I expect Arsenal to drop points? Yes, I do. I just don't know when it's going to happen, because I understand, I know that Arsenal are not going to win every single goddamn game at the end of the day. I don't expect that, because it's also impossible. With the rotations, with the injury problems, with the style, with the system, with Arteta at the job, definitely I believe we're going to drop points. The question is where, how, and how much. How many points are we going to drop? Because if we drop less points than City, I have no issues. If we start to drop more points than City, I have issues at the end of the day. Because City are going to drop points as well. Like, there's no other way around it. City are going to drop points. They are not as consistent as they used to be. They don't have the same type of caliber and level of players as they used to have back even 2-3 years. At the same time, you never know. You never know. Someone just can come out and step up. Like one season Grealish did it, one season Sterling did it, one season Foden did it. You just never know. I just wished Arsenal had that type of a player who at this business part of the season could genuinely step up. Definitely could step up. That is the biggest thing. And looking at everything, for Arsenal, no matter how you look at it, the biggest issue for me with Arsenal, it's not the physical. Even though we are half injured, half jaded, it's not the physical, it's the mental aspect at the end of the day. Will they be able to handle the pressure? Will they have the mental stability, mental resilience if something goes wrong and they can bounce back? how the Carabao Cup final is gonna affect that, because again, as I've been saying this for a while now, unfortunately, we play the same team in Carabao Cup final that is chasing us in the league. And depending on the team that wins that Carabao Cup final, basically at the end of the day, is gonna be the team that's gonna get the psychological and emotional mental edge over the other team in terms of the league title race. And I would not put it past Arsenal if they win the Carabao Cup, they win the Premier League. And I also would not put it past Man City that if they win the Carabao Cup, they actually could win the Premier League. Because Arsenal have been known over the years for breaking at the most important times during the season when the pressure is the biggest, right? And this team as a unit in general has not proven that they can get it over the line. They have not proven that yet. Maybe they'll be able to do it. Maybe they won't. We'll see. But at the same time, who knows? Who knows? We just need to see that they can get it over the line, because they need to feel that emotional lift, that second win that it gives. They need to know, they need to learn the know-hows of winning and losing. Losing, they know how it is when they fall short. They need to know-hows of the winning, because that is going to affect everything long term. Genuinely, that is going to affect everything long term. And I'm not talking about this season, I'm talking about the future seasons, because the core of the players is going to stay the same. And we all know that this manager as well does not know how to get it over the line at the end of the day. He has done it once with completely different style, completely different players, completely different formation, and different tactics and situations. Right now, he has changed everything, has spent 1 billion, and has done nothing with it. He has put us in the top 4. He has gotten us challenging. But at the end of the day, that's not enough. We need to win, and he has not won anything. And that is going to be the big one at the moment. That is definitely going to be a big one. Yeah, exactly. Taking into account the pressure. This team players don't have the... And that is the biggest issue for me with Arsenal. That is the thing that's going to be challenged the most at this business part end of the season. The pressure and the mental strength. Because physically, yes, I know that our players are drained. They're partially jaded. Some are carrying knocks and are going to play through injuries. I totally understand that. And many players do it. But at the same time, the mental aspect of the game is the biggest one. And I think that gets overlooked quite heavily in this account and in this instance. Let's just put it that way. City looked back to their lethal best last night against Newcastle. City looked good against Newcastle. Yeah, definitely looked against Newcastle. It'll be interesting to see how Arsenal fare against Newcastle and how Arsenal fare against City. That is the big ones. Time only will tell, of course. The other question is what I wanted to know. The cup draw is tomorrow. Going to be interesting to see what the cup draw does to us. Who we going to get, how it's going to look, and everything. Because if we get Man City in the cup as well, it's going to be Peakums. Definitely going to be Peakums. Let's just put it that way. I wonder, people saying Arsenal can drop points, even Man City can also. Yeah, both teams can drop points. I fully expect both teams to drop points. Again, it's just the question of how many and who is going to drop less. Because technically speaking, yes, Arsenal are 7 points ahead. City have a game in hand. If they win that game against Palace, it's 4 points. 4 points, especially since we still have to play at the Etihad. There is so much still to play for that people actually don't realize. Everyone's just waving the flag about 7 points. But is it really 7 points? Because even when we were 8 points clear, everyone was saying, oh, it's 8 points, hey, haha. But nobody even thought about the fact that, well, we still have to go to Etihad. They're going to win the game in hand. We have been in this situation before, hence why, personally, I'm not giddy. I'm not getting overzealous, overexcited, over the moon. I don't have my chest out. If we win the Carabao Cup final, then we can talk. Then there's definitely going to be some chest. But right now, definitely, I'm not going to over-celebrate, over-hype it, and just get carried away with this stuff. Without shadow of a doubt, I'm not. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that is also the case. Pep actually knows how to utilize players, and he keeps everyone fresh on toes, and he buys players that he can utilize in his system. He likes every player he has purchased. He does not have his favorites. He plays out of, well, let's just say share. Let's just say, what's the word I'm looking for here? Biasness. Let's just put it that way, from being biased and all this stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. It will be very interesting to see how that everything revolves and resolves itself, because at the moment with Arsenal, there is hope. Obviously, there is hope with everyone, for everyone. Let's just put it that way. Everyone's excited. We are at the top. We are in all 4 competitions: final, top of the league, Champions League, round of 8, round of 16, round of 16, round of 8, round of 8. That's quarterfinals. What was quarterfinals? No, round of 16. And of course, the FA Cup quarterfinals. Arsenal are in all competitions. They have gone far in all, in very advanced stages. It's going to be, right now, again, the rotation and player management, it's going to be the key. No matter how you look at it, it's going to be the key. This is where this so-called world-class depth, as big part of the fan base shouted in the beginning of the season, is going to come into play. And it should have been into play the whole season. Because all of a sudden, everyone's moaning, oh, we have injuries, we don't have anyone to rotate with that, we have issues, this and that. So where is this world-class depth everyone was so excited about? Where is that right now? Because if you have this world-class depth, injuries should not be an issue. But all of a sudden, injuries are an issue. Like, go figure. Go figure. The double standards in these instances is actually kind of mind-blowing. I'm not going to lie. It's very, very interesting how that goes. Very, 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 very interesting. By the way, AC Milan are 1-0 up, as Stupinian has made it 1-0 for AC Milan. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. We could win quadruple, come on. We could. Yeah, we definitely could. I could meet Johnny Depp sometime in my lifetime. I could win $1 million. Will I do it? That's a completely different question. Completely different situation, completely different circumstances. Too many variables to even be on that. I'm not going to be giddy. I have never, ever this year talked about winning the quadruple. Never, ever. As a joke, I have mentioned in certain streams just to have some banter with everyone. But if seriously, I have never mentioned it, never talked about it, never entertained even the idea. Because for me, it's one step at a time, one game at a time. If we win Carabao Cup, we move on. Next competition. You cannot just scream, oh, we're going to win quadruple and then win nothing at the end of the season again. Because this is what Liverpool was. Under Brendan Rodgers, under Rafa Benitez, every single season. This is our year. We're gonna do it. We're gonna win it all. And at the end of the season, well, look. Remember the 2005 Champions League final when we beat AC Milan, and it was incredible comeback and all this stuff. History Channel settings. And this is what Arsenal are at the moment right now. Every single year, all the hype, all the excitement, and at the end of the day, we are History Channel. Oh, but we did go invincible. Oh, but this year's gold and all this stuff. We have the most FA Cups. And everything, XG champions and everything. Like, come on, man. Until you win it, until you have won it, none of this talk. If we get to the final, yes, there could be something unique. Then we can discuss these things. Let's just say we win Carabao Cup. We win the FA Cup, right? We win Premier League, for example, right? And now we have to play Champions League final. Yes, then the quad talk will be real because we have done the treble. It's going to be one step from a quad. I totally understand it. Then I totally understand it. But to talk in a situation where 6 years we have won nothing, we have one FA Cup to show for it, we haven't won the league in 20 plus years, Carabao Cup in 30 plus years, and never won Champions League, to shout from the rooftops and wave the quadruple flag is just nonsense to me. That's just my personal perspective on it. It is sheer utter nonsense at the end of the day. Let's just put it that way. And very few teams have been close even to quad. Jurgen Klopp was very close to quad, but unfortunately he didn't win it for them. That was close, but that didn't happen. Man City had a chance, they didn't do it. And trust me, if prime Man City, prime Liverpool could not do it, it's definitely not. It's definitely not the thing. It's gonna be very interesting. Look at prime Barcelona, prime Inter Milan, and all these teams. Prime Real Madrid, who did a treble of winning Champions Leagues back to back to back. Like they didn't win the quads. None of them. PSG as well. They won the treble last year. They didn't win the quad. It's not that easy. It's not that easy as people think. No, 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 no. For me, it's definitely not a talk, not a discussion, nothing as of yet. Nothing as of yet. And this is the biggest reason why, for example, people like me get labeled toxic and negative, because I don't support the quadruple talk. I don't support all these Far East movements and Far West and Far North movements everyone's trying to push. I just don't support them. I have my stance, I have my views, I live by them, I talk about them, I entertain other talks and I discuss them, but at the end of the day, nah. But we'll see. We'll see. Time only will tell. Season is still long. Still 2 months of almost 3 months. 3 months of a season still left. Almost 2.5 months left of the season. 2.5 months. 8 games in Premier League, 1 in Carabao Cup. If we go to the final in FA Cup, that's 4 more games. And Champions League, 1, 2, 4, 8, 9 games if we get to the final. Too much football left to be played to even talk about this. If we win a final, okay, cool, we move on to next one. We have won a trophy. Next one, we need to win more trophies. We need to win stuff to even have this chest at the end of the day. Because you need to prove that you can do it, to even have these discussions, to have these topics, to have these instances in general in your life. You need to have some proof that you can do it. You need to have some proof. And you don't. At the moment, under Mikel Arteta at least, you definitely don't. Let's just put it that way. But time only will tell. There are possibilities that Arsenal can do it. Because as long as you are in a competition, you are in it to win it. You have a chance. You are within a shot. Obviously, we get taken as we get portrayed by the media, by the what you call it, betting odds as one of the favorites. The bookmakers and everything label as one of the favorites without shadow, without in every competition. But at the end of the day, where does that leave us? Does that mean anything? Not at the moment. I can be labeled as a favorite in many cases in my life, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it. But as long as I'm in it, might as well try to win it. Let's be real. Because there are Arsenal fans already, and I kid you not, there have been talks in social media that Arsenal should drop out of FA Cup just so they can have less games and they can have more rest. Yes, with Trossard and Calafiori getting injured yesterday against Mansfield, there are Arsenal fans who are saying, oh, how really seriously important is the FA Cup? We should just, well, basically, for lack of a better word, just go out of it so we can have more rest. There are Arsenal fans saying that on social media. Like, what? Since when we are in a position, or Arsenal in general can afford or could be in a position to say, nah, I don't want that trophy. I don't want that trophy. Why do we need that trophy? We haven't won a trophy in 6 goddamn years. Oh, we have the most FA Cups. Yo, United are not that far off. Okay, United. But at the end of the day, United are not that far off us. One of the sheer reasons why we are third biggest club in England on trophies is because of the FA Cups. Trophies are the ones that make you who you are. Trophies are the staples that have made Arsenal who they are, where they are, and why they are talked about so loudly, why they have such a big following, and why they're always mentioned for multiple things at the end of the day. No Prem in 22 years, by the way. I wasn't born. Yeah, I can tell. The way you talk about certain things, I can tell, definitely. It's very visible. There are many things you can tell in the chat. That's not an insult or anything, but you can tell how old certain fans are by the way they portray certain things. Yeah, relating Arsenal. Definitely, you can tell that how they relate to the manager, the club, about certain aspects. Whether they go over the top, whether they glaze over the top, whether they criticize over the top, and everything. I never said we are not the kings of FA Cup. We have 14. We have the most. I never said we are not. But if you mean by the fans who think we should be dropping out of the FA Cup, I fully agree. That's a genuinely despicable thing to say. Arsenal should drop out of the FA Cup. What moron says that? What moron actually says that? I will. If Arsenal gets City in the FA Cup quarter, I would not be surprised. Genuinely would not be surprised. Like if we imagine there were trees, there were possibilities that we get in Champions League, Man City as well. And can you imagine if we get an FA Cup as well, Man City, playing Man City, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in span of what? A month? I would just go with my heart at the end of the day, definitely. Is it true that Arsenal Elliot Anderson? Let me check. Not reliable sources. Genuinely not reliable sources. No reliable sources talking about Anderson. The thing is, for me, the biggest issue is, and that's the biggest reason why I don't want Arsenal to sign Elliot Anderson, is because Forest won't want 100 million at least. At least 100 million Nottingham Forest would want for him. And for that money, I much rather do some other business than get Elliot Anderson. Just putting it out there. I don't want to buy 100 million type of player. We bought Declan Rice for 100 plus million. And to a degree, we can see why. Elliot Anderson, no chance in hell. 100 million, go just sit with him and that's about it. And wait till he leaves for free. Exactly. Don't pay too much attention to transfer rumors. At the same time, talking about transfer rumors is fun. At the end of the day, I do transfer shows during summer. I talk about transfer rumors, not because I gas it all up and I say, oh, Arsenal are going to sign this guy. He's the best thing since sliced bread and all this stuff. No, I just like the discussion of the player, how he could fit into the club. Would he fit into the club? And the more we talk about it, it's more interesting because the transfer shows are some of the shows I like the most because it brings more people, it brings more opinions, and it brings more discussions. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Let's just put it that way. But 100 million for Elliot Anderson, no chance in hell. No chance. So you want to buy 100 million? You want to pay 100 million to get control of the midfield? That's just another nonsense in general for me. That's, in my mind, absolute nonsense. 100 million for control. 100 million for a guy who has done almost all in his career. He literally has done almost all in his career, and you're gonna pay 100 million for that. Only because, first things first, he comes from Forest. Forest could be going down, they need the money. And third of all, because he's English, the English tax in Premier League is way too much insane. No chance in hell, if I had the money, I would pay 100 million for Elliot Anderson. The overhype of so many players these days is absolute nonsense and is laughable to a degree. Yeah, the Forest guy. I can count on a few fingers the transfer rumors that actually came to fruition. Yeah, exactly. That's why we can talk about it, but but not because we're gonna sign him. Like, it's not like, for example, when I do transfer shows, I'm not one of those, again, that when you go and say, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread, he's the best thing, he's almost like Patrick Vieira, and he moves like Thierry Henry, and he has a touch of Dennis Bergkamp, as they say, and all this stuff. Remember when Kai Havertz signed, when Arsenal fans said that he reminds us of Robin van Persie and Dennis Bergkamp combined and all this crap? Come on, man, what are we doing here? Like, it's actually insane. It's actually wild to a degree when you see some of these things and when you hear some of these things, in my opinion. But overall, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Regarding Arsenal, it's I'm more interested in I'm more interested into which Arsenal players could be leaving. That for me is more interesting than actually signings at the moment coming in. Let's just put it that way. I'm kind of more interested in the players going out than coming in, because I think that will definitely affect very heavily who we gonna go after during summer. The outgoings, definitely. So we are not going to get Yildiz in the summer. He just renewed his contract. Personally, I don't care if he renewed his contract or not. I would not mind having Yildiz at Arsenal. I want the Yildiz at Arsenal, just like I want Kvaratskhelia at Arsenal. I'm not so sure who would be more expensive, who would be more lethal at Arsenal. Let's just put it that way. But the talks about Yildiz to Arsenal are genuinely very minimal. And talks about Kvaratskhelia to Arsenal, they are a bit louder, but they are also nothing too serious to take into context and consideration right now at all. Let's just put it that way. Rodrigo, nah, I don't think so, because he got the ACL and he is out for about 6-7 months. So till basically almost end of the year. So I don't think so. No chance in hell. Anyone else? Well, Arsenal, technically speaking, are still linked with Nico Williams, which is one of the dumbest things in the world. I don't know why, personally, for me, but it is what it is. Arsenal are still linked with Nico Williams. Besides that, there have been some random talks about Diomande from Leipzig, right? But at the same time, Leipzig want about 80 million for Diomande. I much rather sign Kvaratskhelia or Yildiz or Leao for that money. I'm not gonna lie. Well, we missed that one. We had a chance to go for Mbappe, but hey, we didn't. So it is what it is. We had a chance to go for Mbappe. We had a chance and everything. We didn't. To be honest, we have had lots of chances in this regard, and we have. To be honest, if you look even at the market over the years and looking at the chances and opportunities Arsenal had to sign certain players, and they just literally ignored it to the maximum extent, it's actually infuriating. It's very infuriating, because every summer window you see certain players move clubs for literally nothing, for cheap as chips, in positions where Arsenal desperately need a player, and Arsenal just do nothing. They absolutely do nothing. And that is, I hope that with Andrea Berta that changes. I genuinely hope with Andrea Berta coming in, this stuff changes, because Arsenal have issues that need to be addressed. And if they need to be addressed, I want to have a sporting director that addresses it instantly. Instantly. What about Anthony Gordon? I know many people want him at Arsenal. Personally, for me, not it. Like, he works hard. The thing about Gordon is he works hard. He works hard in offense and he works hard in defense, which, based on Mikel Arteta, if Arteta stays, he would be the perfect player for Arteta, because he wants to track back, he wants to defend, he has no problem doing that, and he wants to go forward instantly as well. In that regard, he is, from all the wingers we can sign for the left side at the moment, he is the most Arteta winger we can talk about, right? But at the same time, for me personally, Anthony Gordon is more of a striker than anything. For me, Gordon still is a striker. He's not a winger. Obviously, with the striker situation at Arsenal, not too sure how that one would work out. And for Arsenal to be a winger, you need to have some technical ability, and Gordon doesn't possess that, in my opinion. He can run down the wing, but Martinelli does that as well. And Gordon is something like Martinelli, just an improvement on him in certain areas. But overall, he is not the one, in my opinion, we need. We need more technical, more tricky, more skillful winger than anything. Because if you look at our wingers, either one is old and everything, other one has, well, basically he's joga finito at the end of the day. So I guess it is what it is. So we'll see. So definitely we will see. For me, I kind of hope that Arsenal sell about 5-6 players this summer. Right? I hope Arsenal sell about 5-6 players this summer. And on that list, personally for me, there is Calafiori, Odegaard, Ben White, Trossard, Martinelli, and who was the sixth one? Havertz. Those 6 players need to go for me. That would give us some massive amounts of money, plus would open insane amounts of wages as well. That would definitely be the ones that should go. If Arsenal would sell, I hope they sell some of those players, definitely. Obviously, some of the easiest sells, I don't even know if there will be an easy sell for Arsenal, because you look at all this stuff. Well, Jesus as well, to be honest, now that I think of it, but I don't think Arsenal are gonna sell half of the squad this summer. Arsenal are not gonna sell half of the squad. But no matter which player you want to sell, if you look at the wages that specific player is at, it's actually quite devastating blow to the amount of money we can get for those players. Martinelli is on 180 grand a week. Looking at his performances, not sure what kind of money we can get. Trossard, he's on 180 grand a week. Odegaard is on 200, if not more, 240 grand a week. Jesus is on 265 grand a week. Havertz is on 285 grand a week. Ben White is on 150 grand a week for an injury-prone player. Like, it's gonna be very interesting how Andrea Berta in the summer actually resolves these instances, because the money we have put specific players on that are not good enough or are too injury-prone, and we need to get rid of them. And I have no idea how we're gonna do this. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see. Calafiori as well, 120, 130 grand a week, right? Personally, for me, too injury prone, he has to go. Will Arteta see it that way? Will Arteta even be here at the end of the season? Who knows, right? But will the club see it that way, that he needs to go? We'll see. But for me, yeah, there are players personally for me that should be going, and there are quite a few of them. But Arsenal are not going to sell half of their squad. Like, that is the biggest thing. Maybe 3, maybe 4 players, most likely, and 3 or 4 are going to come in. But Arsenal are not going to sell that many players, in my opinion. Definitely Arsenal, because if you want to be very ruthless and look at this, Arsenal need to sell like Jesus, Havertz, White, Odegaard, Trossard, Martinelli, Calafiori, Havertz, Merino, about 8, 9, 10 players. Arsenal are not going to sell half the squad. Arsenal definitely are not going to sell half of the squad. So we basically going to have to sell for about 3, 4, best case scenario. Yeah, Martinelli also doesn't stop running. That doesn't mean I'm going to put him in the same sentence as Ray Parler. Just saying. Right? But it's the same. Like, for me, Gordon, he is Arteta's player in the profile, the buzzword, in the profile sense of what he does on the pitch. Besides that, not for me. Personally, not for me. I'm just saying. Personally, not for me. based on what he does on the pitch when he runs up and down. He tracks all these runs. He tracks defensively, tracks offensively. Yes. That I get. I absolutely understand. That I absolutely understand, of course. But overall, no, thank you. Absolutely no, thank you. I'm just more interested about the fact that why Arsenal are linked with Kvaratskhelia right now. Because we have been saying that we need a new left winger for what, two seasons right now. We have been talking about this issue at the club, and literally a year ago, Kvaratskhelia was available for 60 odd million. Saka was injured, Jesus was injured. We had had the chance to sign Kvaratskhelia, and we just didn't. We absolutely let it slip. He went to PSG, which in the end, which won them the Champions League to a degree, won the treble last year, right? So why now? For me, that is the biggest question. Why now? Because we had left-wing issues then. We have the same left-wing issues right now. The thing is, Kvaratskhelia right now is gonna cost about 30-40 million more than he did a year ago. Like, I don't get that from business perspective in general and what was going through the club's mind. Obviously, we didn't have Andrea Berta at the time. He only joined in March, so that might be an influential thing. We had Jason Ato at the wheel because Edu got sacked, who, by the way, Edu is also sacked from Nottingham Forest. Edu got sacked from Nottingham Forest because, what's its face? Because he didn't see eye to eye with Marianakis and them, man. So, interesting, genuinely interesting how Edu is the problem there as well to a degree. But yeah, we could have had a chance. We had the chances, and again, we didn't use that chance. Arteta always preaches that Arsenal are looking for opportunities in the market. We look for the best deals. We always have a plan in place, and we always want to take advantage when it presents itself. Kvaratskhelia was the prime chance, prime opportunity, prime chance presenting itself. And we did absolutely nothing. Zilch, nada, nothing. And that still bothers me to this day. Hopefully, Andrea Berta can fix this mess. That is the hope, at least for me personally. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, time only will tell. Let's just put it that way. Time only will tell. Yeah, he could be carrying this team because that left side for us has been ruined for how long? For about 2.5, 3 years almost, right? Kvaratskhelia could be playing with Gyökeres right now and Eze in the 10. Imagine Saka, Gyökeres, Kvaratskhelia, Eze in the 10. That actually sounds pretty nice. We'll see. I don't know even what I'm gonna do. I still need to take a shower, put the kids to bed. Still lots of work to do this evening. Tomorrow's obviously Monday, so I need to go to work and all this stuff. So hee haha, it's not looking that great, is it? Not looking that great, is it? But time only will tell. Time only will tell. But personally, yeah, why we didn't sign Kvaratskhelia is interesting. 6 years, no. To be honest, cannot say even 6 years because there was one season when it looked like we actually had a phenomenal left winger. 22-23 season, Martinelli was fantastic. Even Jurgen Klopp said that Martinelli looks phenomenal. He is the next big thing, and there's more to come. And then Mikel Arteta decided to, for lack of a better word, screw it all up and make a mess of it. He tried to fix what isn't broken. You know the saying, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Arteta decided that, hey, it's not broken. I have to break it. And there it is. There it is. Hope the job is doing well. It is going well. Definitely it's going well. Tomorrow is new week. We'll see what tomorrow brings and everything. Definitely it's going to be very interesting how this week pans out at work. It's going to be a tough one. I fully expect that. It's going to be a rough week. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Because in 5 days, when is it in 5 days? That's what? When is March 13th? Friday, right? On Friday, it's gonna be 2 months at the new job. I'm doing very good. Very good. Nobody's complaining about me as of yet, so I'm not that bad. Not that bad. Now instead of sport, yeah, definitely. Would you rather get Nusa or Kvaratskhelia? Big up LT Kings. Kvaratskhelia, without shadow of a doubt, hands down. RB Leipzig want about 80 or 90 million for Nusta. I'm not gonna pay that. I know it's not my money, by the way, but to pay that type of a money for those type of players, you need to have something to you. And so far with Nusa, there are injuries, there are problems. Same goes for Diomande from RB Leipzig. None of them. I don't want another. If I pay 80, 90 million for a winger, I want Kvaratskhelia. I want someone who is proven, who has been there, done that, who has done stuff. I don't want some youngster who could be good in a few years with hopes and praise. We are not in this position anymore. We are not, as a club, in a position where we can give someone time, as they say. Oh, he needs to sell in. Oh, he needs this, he needs that. He needs a bubble bath, a hand rub, a back rub. He needs a bear card to go to Tesco's and all this stuff. None of that. I mean, you need to fluff his pillow and all this crap. None of that. We need a winner right now, and we move. We need players who know how to do stuff. Let's just put it that way. We need players who do stuff right now. None of that. We have to make 3 signatures: left wing, midfield, and defender. That's why I talked about Murillo from Nottingham Forest. Yeah, but Murillo is a center back. And with Arsenal, unfortunately, the center backs are not the biggest issue. It's the wing backs, ironically enough. And right backs, we need a backup for Timber because White is undependable. He's a hospital FC right now. Not to mention the left wings. After spending about 100 million on left backs, after spending almost 100 million on left backs alone, we still don't have a goddamn proper left back. Only good left back we had, we left him go for free to Celtic. Only good left back we had. We still don't have a left back. We much rather play a makeshift midfielders there, much rather play center backs there, and even the left backs we tried to play there, they're not good enough. Hincapié is the only one, but even left back is not his natural position. He's more of a center back. Thank God he actually is decent at left back as well. But overall, yeah, we don't have an out-and-out proper left back. We had Tierney. We don't want to sign a proper left back, at least under this manager. That is the issue. No Livramento, no none of them, man. I would love to have Livramento at the club. He's also 6'2", so 6'1", sorry, so he could do the job. I never said he's not doing the job there, but it is not his natural position. Like, I don't get this. Why Arteta needs to persist to playing players out of position? That, for me, is the biggest pet peeve you can watch. You cannot have this. Literally, you cannot have... Miles Lewis-Skelly was doing phenomenally last year at left back. Where is he now? Like, Calafiori, oh, God help us all. Even though he's somewhat decent going forwards, he's not doing nothing now. Hincapié is doing good as a left back. There's no argument about that, but we lack offensive abilities there from that left side. We don't invert, we don't overlap, we do nothing with that. We try to, and it looks like a dog learning to ride, to basically trying on roller skates try skating every single leg goes on each direction of the way. Kelly didn't have to be on the bench. He was suspended for the game against Mansfield. He didn't have to play. Next thing you know, we signed Mickey Van de Ven. To be honest, you can joke all you want, but Van de Ven actually would not be the worst signing as a backup. Van de Ven is actually not bad. The thing about Van de Ven is I think he is sick of being at Spurs, and he's trying to do everything to force a move out of Spurs. Getting the red cards, most likely maybe getting Spurs relegated and all this stuff. I think he wants out of Spurs. Me personally, I think that Hincapié is showing that he's one of the best left backs and he scores goals and crosses, although he may require time to adapt. I see a no, he's very good at left back, 100%. He is good at left back for Venezuela. Ecuador, right? Ecuador. He's from Ecuador, right? I'm not tripping here. Yeah, from Ecuador, right? He also, for Ecuador, plays center back and the left back, right? So there are no issues with that. For Javi Alonso, when he won the Invincible Bundesliga, he played left mid, left back, or center back, depending on the situation, obviously. But as a left back, he's doing good. He's more defensive than forward thinking. He has a decent shot on him. Just wish he had maybe a better cross and he could get more involved in the attack, like Timba does, for example. But for Arsenal, unfortunately, that whole left side is all sorts of effed up. And that is until it gets resolved, especially on that left wing spot, definitely it's an issue. Yeah, exactly. For Ecuador, he's left back and center back, mostly center back, but he also can play left back, so there are no issues with that. No matter how you look at it, he's actually very, very decent there. Let's be real there. Hopefully, he can grow and everything. Arsenal have an option, yes, an option, to buy him for £45 million this coming summer. Only £45 million, and it's an option. I beg Andrea Berta says, press his yes button and we buy him. Because if we don't, I'm going to be always sort of annoyed. I hope we sign him. Absolutely hope we sign him. Because if we don't, that definitely is going to be a travesty and a half, to say the least. Definitely it's going to be travesty and a half. So time only will tell, of course. But ultimately, we'll see. We'll see how that's going to go. We definitely gonna see how that's going to go. But yeah, time only will tell. Arsenal are in this spot where we need to and we have to. What your thoughts and Ubers about selling Zubimendi and buying Anderson? Haven't heard anything about selling Zubimendi. First things first. Haven't heard also much about buying Anderson. Personally, that's just me. Haven't heard much. I have heard more about Arsenal going for Tonali than going for Anderson. If I have to choose like 100 million for Tonali or Anderson, I'm taking Tonali. I'm not going to lie, at the moment at least. I need someone who is more proven, more established. But at the same time, we'll see. We need some physical presence in that six without shadow of a doubt. We need some proper tackling physical presence in that six. I'm sick and tired of these wishy-washy wannabe plebs there, marshmallows and all this stuff. No point buying a new player whilst Arteta is the manager. That's the thing. If he wins stuff, he proves that he can win stuff, right? He's going to stay. So we'll have to support the buys, and he's going to buy stuff no matter how you look at it. Wrong phrasing, but I think you get what I mean. He's going to get the purchases. If he goes, if we don't win nothing, he most likely is going to go. Like you would expect that, right? So there's going to be somebody else, and then we're going to sign someone no matter what you want to do it. So I think it's basically time only will tell type of situation. I think it will heavily and strongly depend on who we sign, what we win this season, who comes in this season. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, people, I think on that note, I'm going to end today's stream. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. We have passed 1,030 subscribers. Big up to you all. Much love, people. I'm going to redirect you to Rich99. But for today, I am out and see you all tomorrow. Peace.